चलिए हम लोग सेक्शन डी सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इन फ्लावरिंग प्लांट में नीट बूस्टर क्वेश्चंस कर लेते हैं। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट अबाउट सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इन ऑर्गेनिज्म इज। जी हाँ, करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट अबाउट सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इन ऑर्गेनिज्म इज फर्स्ट, यह इलेबोरेट एंड कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोसेस होता है एज कम्पेयर टू वेजिटेटिव रिप्रोडक्शन। एंड सेकेंड, ऑफस्प्रिंग आइडेंटिकल नहीं होती है टू दी पेरेंट्स। Second, common asexual spore in fungi and simple plants such as algae are respectively। जी हाँ, common asexual spore in fungi is conidia and simple plants such as algae are zoospores। जी हाँ, common asexual spore in fungi is conidia and simple plants such as algae are zoospores। Question third, which of the following feature is not related to monocot embryo? Options are scutellum, coleoptile, coleorhiza, hilum। जी हाँ, not related to monocot embryo is hilum। Question 4, a portion of underground stem bearing bud forms a new plant in। जी हाँ, a portion of underground stem bearing bud forms a new plant in ginger। जी हाँ, a portion of underground stem bearing bud forms a new plant in ginger। Question 5, lifespan of an organism। जी हाँ, lifespan of an organism is not necessarily correlated to the size of organisms। जी हाँ, lifespan of an organism is not necessarily correlated to the size of organisms। Question 6, vegetative propagation in terror of Bengal occurs through। जी हाँ, vegetative propagation in terror of Bengal occurs through offset। जी हाँ, vegetative propagation in terror of Bengal occurs through offset। Question 7, select the correct statement with respect to Kara। जी हाँ, correct statement with respect to Kara is sex organs are multicellular and jacketed। जी हाँ, correct statement with respect to Kara is sex organs are multicellular and jacketed। Question 8, vital link between two successive generations। जी हाँ, vital link between two successive generations is always one-celled, contains a pair of genome, ensures the continuity of a race from generation to generation। Question 9, which of the following is not an advantage of seeds? Options are they protect young embryo, they are excellent means of dispersal, third, they provide nourishment to young seedlings, and fourth, they can't be stored for longer duration। जी हाँ, not an advantage of seeds is they can't be stored for longer duration। Question 18. Homogametes are produced in। जी हाँ, होमोगैमेट्स आर प्रोड्यूस्ड इन यूलोथ्रिक्स। जी हाँ, होमोगैमेट्स आर प्रोड्यूस्ड इन यूलोथ्रिक्स। क्वेश्चन 11. ए सेक्सुअल स्पोर्स इन यूनिसेलुलर ग्रीन alga Calamidomonas आर। जी हाँ, ए सेक्सुअल स्पोर्स इन यूनिसेलुलर ग्रीन alga Calamidomonas आर जू स्पोर्स possessing two flagella of equal size। जी हाँ, ए सेक्सुअल स्पोर्स इन यूनिसेलुलर ग्रीन alga Calamidomonas आर जू स्पोर्स possessing two flagella of equal size। Question 12. Lifespan of organisms represents juvenile, reproductive, and senescence phase. Which of these plants do not possess these three distinct phases? जी हाँ, lifespan of organisms represents juvenile, reproductive, and senescence phase. Mango, people, coconut do not possess these three distinct phases। जी हाँ, लाइफ स्पान ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स रिप्रेजेंट्स जुवेनाइल, रिप्रोडक्टिव एंड सेनेसेंस फेज। मैंगो, पीपल, कोकोनट डू नॉट पोजेस दीज थ्री डिस्टिंक्ट फेजेस। क्वेश्चन 13. All of the below given events are essential found in all sexually reproducing organisms except। जी हाँ, all of the events are essentially यानी कि गैमेटोजेनेसिस, फर्टिलाइजेशन, मियोसिस फाउंड इन ऑल सेक्सुअली रिप्रोड्यूसिंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स एक्सेप्ट एम्ब्रियोजेनेसिस। क्वेश्चन 14. रीड द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स एंड आइडेंटिफाई द टाइप ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन। ए involves formation of a seed without fertilization. B. It mimics sexual reproduction. जी हाँ, वह रिप्रोडक्शन है जिसमें इन्वॉल्व्स होता है फॉर्मेशन ऑफ सीड विदाउट फर्टिलाइजेशन और वह मिमिक करता है सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन को, वह एपोमिक्सिस है। जी हाँ, वह रिप्रोडक्शन है जिसमें इन्वॉल्व्स होता है फॉर्मेशन ऑफ सीड विदाउट फर्टिलाइजेशन और वह मिमिक करता है सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन को, वह एपोमिक्सिस है। क्वेश्चन 15. एंथर वाले लेयर पोसेसिंग डेंस साइटोप्लाज्म एंड मेनी न्यूक्लियाई इन सेल्स। जी हाँ, एंथर वाले पोसेसिंग डेंस साइटोप्लाज्म एंड मेनी न्यूक्लियाई इन सेल्स is inner to middle layers of anther. Second, contributes to formation of sporopollen in wall of the pollen. Third, provides nourishment to developing pollen grain. All of these. Question 16. In which of the following flowers autogamy is prevented but not zytonogamy? जी हाँ, इन cucurbits flower autogamy is prevented but not zytonogamy. जी हाँ, इन cucurbits flower autogamy is prevented but not zytonogamy. Question 17. The incorrect statement for pollen grains in angiosperm. Options are first. In over 60% of angiosperms, pollens are shed at two sealed stage. Second option, generally spherical about 50 to 25 micrometer in diameter. Third, can withstand high temperature and strong acids. And fourth, cannot be stored at low temperature as a source of germplasm. जी हाँ, incorrect statement of pollen grains in angiosperms is that it cannot be stored at low temperature as a source of germplasm. Question 18 in Nucellus megaspore mother cell. जी हाँ, in Nucellus megaspore mother cell generally differentiate at micropylar end. जी हाँ, in Nucellus megaspore mother cell generally differentiate at micropylar end. Question 19. The ovule in which micropyle, chalaza and funicle are in a straight line. जी हाँ, the ovule in which micropyle, chalaza and funicle are in a straight line orthotropous. Question 20. In breeding device that ensures seed sheet in angiosperm is. जी हाँ, inbreeding device that ensures seed set in angiosperms is kilistogamy. Question 21. How many meiotic and mitotic divisions respectively are required to form 7 female gametophyte from 7 mmcs in angiosperms? Question 22. Wind pollinated flowers are characterized by. जी हाँ, wind pollinated flowers are characterized by single ovule in each ovary. Question 23. Choose the incorrect statement. Options are: first, pistil has ability to recognize the pollen with respect to its compatibility. Second, pollen tube enters one of the synergids through the filiform apparatus. Bagging prevents contamination of stigma with unwanted pollen. 4. Emasculation is needed when female parent produces unisexual flowers. जी हाँ, incorrect statement is emasculation is needed when female parent produces unisexual flowers. Question 24. Synergids in female gametophyte. जी हाँ, synergids in female gametophyte has micropylar nucleus. Question 25. Endosperm development in angiosperms. जी हाँ, endosperm development in angiosperms precedes the development of embryo and is mostly of perinuclear type. Question 26. Odd one out with respect to lifespan of organisms. Options are Lifespan is specific for each organism. Small-sized organisms can also have long lifespan. And next option, lifespan refers to period from birth to natural death. And next option is lifespan of organisms is necessarily correlated with their complexity. जी हाँ, odd one out with respect to lifespan of organisms is lifespan of organisms is necessarily correlated with their complexity. Question 27. Gametic fusion can be external in जी हाँ, gametic fusion can be external in algae. Question 28. The period between two consecutive flowering is called interflowering period. Is जी हाँ, the period between two consecutive flowering is called interflowering period. Is actually a recovery phase. जी हाँ, the period between two consecutive flowering is called interflowering period. Is actually a recovery phase. Question 29. Majority of sexually reproducing organisms produce जी हाँ, majority of sexually reproducing organisms produce heterogametes. Question 30. Chromosome number in myocytes of apple, maize and rice are respectively जी हाँ, chromosome number in myocyte of apple is 34 and maize have 20 and rice have 24. जी हाँ, chromosome number in myocyte of apple is 34 and maize have 20 and rice have 24. Question 31. Choose the incorrect statement with respect to Markensia. Male and female sex organs are born on separate thalli. Second, Archegonia has long neck and swollen venter. Next, sex organs are born on stalked upright special branches called gametophores. Fourth, only male sex organ is covered by a sterile jacket. जी हाँ, incorrect statement with respect to Markensia is only male sex organ is covered by a sterile jacket. Question 32. Pollen germination in angiosperms. जी हाँ, pollen germination in angiosperms occurs on astigma when the pollen is compatible. Question 33. The organisms which do not show senescence but reproduce their asexually or sexually are जी हाँ, the organisms which do not show senescence but reproduce either asexually or sexually are amoeba, paramecium, Saccharomyces. Question 34. Select correct statements for asexual reproduction. जी हाँ, correct statements for asexual reproduction is it involves only mitotic division of springs produced are identical to parent and can occur through a specialized or unspecialized part of organisms. Question 35. The most common asexual spore produced in penicillium called conidia is. जी हाँ, the most common asexual spore produced in penicillium called conidia is formed on special hyphal branches called conidiophores. Question 36. Water hyacinth is called terror of Bengal because. जी हाँ, water hyacinth is called terror of Bengal because it drains oxygen from water and causes death of fishes. Question 37. The most vital event of sexual reproduction is. जी हाँ, the most vital event of sexual reproduction is fusion of gametes. जी हाँ, the most vital event of sexual reproduction is fusion of gametes. Question 38. Organisms exhibiting external fertilization. जी हाँ, organisms exhibiting external fertilization show great synchrony between the sexes. Second, release a large number of gametes into the surrounding medium. Third, are extremely vulnerable to predators, threatening their survival up to adulthood. Question 39. Formation of embryo from zygote includes all except. जी हाँ, formation of embryo from zygote includes all, that is equational division, cell differentiation, mitosis, except reduction division. Question 40. In flowering plants after fertilization. जी हाँ, in flowering plants after fertilization, the ovary wall develops into pericarp and the ovules turn into seeds. Question 41. Consider following statements. बताइए इसमें कौन इनकरेक्ट है और कौन करेक्ट है. जी हाँ, इनमें करेक्ट है बी सी डी. बी. Tapetum cells possess dense cytoplasm and are polyploid. C. Increase in DNA content of tapetum is due to endomitosis. D. The epidermis of another wall is single-layered and protective in function. Are true, but fibrous bands of alpha cellulose are present in wall of epidermis in anther wall is incorrect. Question 42. Total number of microspore tetrads formed in a dithecous anther if each sporangia has 50 microspore mother cells would be. Question 43. How many statements are correct for pollen grains? Question 44. Ovules in angiosperms. जी हाँ, ovules in angiosperms may be either one or many in each ovary. Question 45. Megaspore mother cell in ovule. जी हाँ, megaspore mother cell in ovule is a large cell containing dense cytoplasm and a prominent nucleus. Question 46. Largest cell in polygonum type of embryo sac is. जी हाँ, largest cell in polygonum type of embryo sac is a central cell. Question 47. Synergids in embryo sac. जी हाँ, synergids in embryo sac generally have micropylar nucleus and chalazal vacuole. Question 48. Which of the following is not the adaptation seen in part to ensure self-pollination? जी हाँ, dichogamy is not the adaptation seen in a plant to ensure self-pollination. Question 49. Water-pollinated flowers and pollens are often characteristic by all except. जी हाँ, water-pollinated flowers and pollens are often characterized by presence of mucilage covering on pollens, long ribbon-like pollen floating passively inside water. Flowers are non-showy and nectarless, except majority of hydrophytes. Flowers are submerged in water and have feathery stigma. Question 50. The outbreeding device which prevents both autogamy and geitonogamy is. जी हाँ, the outbreeding device which prevent both autogamy and geitonogamy is dioiacy. Dioiacy. Question 51. In the process of asexual reproduction. जी हाँ, in the process of asexual reproduction, there is no need to search for a mate. जी हाँ, in the process of asexual reproduction, there is no need to search for a mate. Question 53. Zoospores conidia tuber offset pollen zygote from the structures given in a box. How many are associated with asexual reproduction? Question 54. In vegetative propagules of a potato and bryophyllum, new plants arise from respectively. जी हाँ, in vegetative propagules of potato, axillary bud and bryophyllum adventitious bud से न्यू प्लांट्स अराइज करते हैं। क्वेश्चन 55 फ्लैशी बर्ड्स इन एक्वाटिक प्लांट्स आर नोन एज। जी हाँ, फ्लैशी बर्ड्स इन एक्वाटिक प्लांट्स आर नोन एज ट्यूरियंस। जी हाँ, फ्लैशी बर्ड्स इन एक्वाटिक प्लांट्स आर नोन एज ट्यूरियंस। क्वेश्चन 56 स्टडी द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स एंड चूज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन। जी हाँ, 3 और 4 करेक्ट है, यानी कि थर्ड दी organism's habitat, internal physiology, etc. are collectively responsible for how it reproduces. Question 4th. When offspring is produced by single parent or without involvement of gametes, formation is called asexual reproduction. Question 57. A portion of underground stem bearing bud forms a new plant in। जी हाँ, a portion of underground stem bearing a bud forms a new plant in Narcissus, gladiolus and Freesia। जी हाँ, a portion of underground stem bearing a bud forms a new plant in Narcissus, gladiolus and Freesia। Question 58. Which of the following statement about vegetative reproduction is incorrect? Options are: first, stem cutting is a common horticulture method of plant propagation. A stalk has a large diameter than a scion in crown grafting. Next option, Goti is an ancient method of propagation in subtropical trees and shrubs. And next option, in trench layering, the basal branch may peaked at several places in soil at regular intervals। जी हाँ, incorrect is that in trench layering, the basal branch may peaked at several places in soil at regular intervals। Question 59. Grafting method can be used। जी हाँ, grafting method can be used in cambium containing eustelic plants। जी हाँ, grafting method can be used in cambium containing eustelic plants। Question 60. Study the following statement and choose correct option। जी हाँ, asexual reproduction is common among single-celled organisms and organisms with relatively simple organization। And third, runner, rhizome, sucker, tuber, offset bulb are vegetative propagules। जी हाँ, asexual reproduction is common among single-celled organisms and organisms with relatively simple organization। And third, runner, rhizome, sucker, tuber, offset bulb are vegetative propagules is correct statements। Question 61. Choose the correct option from the following। जी हाँ, annual and biennial plants show clear-cut vegetative, reproductive, and senescent phase, and second, bamboo species flower only once in a life, generally after 50 to 100 years, are correct. Question 62. Examine the figure given below and select the correct option for labeled part A, B, C, D. Question 63. From the given categories of bird, choose the one which is present in potato tuber. Question 64. Select the incorrect statement. First, flowers are bisexual in sweet potato. Second, Eulothrix shows external fertilization. Fourth, the nuclei in Cara has a cap of 5 coronary cells. And last, zygote is thick-walled diploid sexual spore. जी हाँ, incorrect statement is zygote is thick-walled diploid sexual spore. Question 65. Choose correct option with respect to following structures. जी हाँ, कोनिडिया सेलुलर स्ट्रक्चर यूनिसेलुलर फ्लैजेला absent होता है और वाल इसमें थिन होती है. यह करेक्ट ऑप्शन है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू फॉलोइंग स्ट्रक्चर. Question 66. Choose correct option for asexual and sexual reproduction in organisms that have a relatively simple organization. Question 67. Which of the following plant produce non-motile male gametes? जी हाँ, Mangifera pinus plants produce non-motile male gametes. Question 68. Clear-cut distinction between vegetative, reproductive, and senescent phase is shown by. जी हाँ, clear-cut distinction between vegetative, reproductive, and senescent phase is shown by all annulus and biennials. Question 69. In few fungi and most of the algae, जी हाँ, इन फ्यू फंजाई एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द algae में मेल गैमिट मोटाइल होता है, फीमेल गैमिट भी मोटाइल होता है. क्वेश्चन 70. सेलेक्ट करेक्ट ऑप्शन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू क्रोमोसोम्स नंबर इन सेक्सुअल लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ एप्पल. जी हाँ, मेगा स्पोरोसाइट 34, माइक्रोस्पोर 17 और पेन 51 है, जो कि करेक्ट ऑप्शन है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू क्रोमोसोम्स नंबर इन सेक्सुअल लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ एप्पल. Question 71. Choose correct option with respect to division during gamete formation and division in zygote for organisms having haplontic life cycle respectively. 72. Which of the following plant groups shows internal fertilization only? जी हाँ, Bryophytes and Pteridophytes plant group shows internal fertilization only. Question 73. Which of the following features cannot be shown by a structure which is vital link between two generations, ensuring continuity of a species? Question 24. Organisms showing internal fertilization shows reduction in number of dash dash gamete and increase in number of dash dash gamete. जी हाँ, organisms showing internal fertilization shows a reduction in number of male gamete and increase in the number of female gamete. 75. Choose correct option with respect to features of different plant groups. जी हाँ, यूलोथ्रिक्स एम्ब्रियो अवसेंट होता है, गैमेट्स होमोगैमेट होता है और एसेक्सुअल स्पोर प्रेजेंट होता है। जी हाँ, यूलोथ्रिक्स एम्ब्रियो अवसेंट होता है, गैमेट्स होमोगैमेट होता है और एसेक्सुअल स्पोर प्रेजेंट होता है। Question 76. Synchrony between the maturity of sexes and the release of large number of gametes is shown by? जी हाँ, synchrony between the maturity of sexes and the release of large number of gametes is shown by most of the algae. जी हाँ, synchrony between the maturity of sexes and the release of large number of gametes is shown by most of the algae. Question 77. Choose correct option with respect to given below thallus. Question 78. Which of the following represents the correct sequence of phases in the life cycle of wheat? जी हाँ, juvenile, reproductive and senescence phase represents the correct sequence of phases in the life cycle of wheat. Question 79. Examine the figure A, B, C and D given below and select the right option for female sex organs. Question 80. Read the following statement carefully. Further development of a zygote depends on the type of life cycle and organism has and the environment it is exposed to. Identify the correct matched pair with respect to above statement. The further development of zygote depends on the type of life cycle the organism has and the environment it is exposed to. Thick-walled zygote, haplontic life cycle. Question 21. The vital link that ensures continuity of a species between organisms of one generation and next are all except. जी हाँ, the vital link that ensures continuity of a species between organisms of one generation and next are zygospore, oospore, except oosphere. 82. Choose the correct option. जी हाँ, थर्ड और फोर्थ करेक्ट है. The gymnosperms are pteridophytes, have diploid parent body. In seed plants, pollen grains are carrier of male gametes. भी correct है. Question 83. Choose the correct option from following statements. जी हाँ, during embryogenesis, zygote undergoes mitotic cell division. Correct है. And fourth, in brinjal, sepal remained attached to fruit even after fertilization. भी correct है. Second, third incorrect है. Question 84. The progenitor of the next generation in a mature seed is. जी हाँ, the progenitor of the next generation in a mature seed is embryo. जी हाँ, the progenitor of the next generation in a mature seed is embryo. Question 85. What is the carrier of male gamete in the Pinus, Markensia, Mangocara, Funaria respectively? जी हाँ, male gamete carrier in Pinus and Mango is pollen tube and Markensia cara Funaria has water. जी हाँ, male gamete carrier in Pinus and Mango is pollen tube and Markensia cara Funaria has water. Question 86. Pollen grains are generally dash dash in outline, measuring dash dash micrometers in diameter. जी हाँ, pollen grains are generally spherical in outline, measuring 25 to 50 micrometers in diameter. जी हाँ, pollen grains are generally spherical in outline, measuring 25 to 50 micrometers in diameter. Question 87. The vegetative cell is. जी हाँ, the vegetative cell is large, has large irregularly shaped nucleus. जी हाँ, the vegetative cell is large, has large irregularly shaped nucleus. Question 88. Cryopreservation means storing of products in. जी हाँ, cryopreservation means storing of products in liquid nitrogen. जी हाँ, cryopreservation means storing of products in liquid nitrogen. Question 89. Choose the odd one with respect to gynosium. Options are: first, gynosium represents the female reproductive part of flower. Gynosium may be syncarpous or apocarpous. The ovules are attached to placenta, and the number of ovules in a papaya and a mango is 1. जी हाँ, odd one with respect to gynosium is the number of ovules in a papaya and a mango is 1. Question 90. The number of mitotic generations required to form a mature embryo shake in most of the flowering plants is. जी हाँ, the number of mitotic generations required to form a mature embryo sac in most of the flowering plants is 3. जी हाँ, the number of mitotic generations required to form a mature embryo sac in most of the flowering plants is 3. Question 91. The type of flowers which always produce seeds even in the absence of pollinators. जी हाँ, the type of flowers which always produce seeds even in the absence of pollinators is cleistogamous flowers. जी हाँ, the type of flowers which always produce seeds even in the absence of pollinators is cleistogamous flowers. Question 92. The type of pollination which brings genetically different types of pollen on the stigma is. जी हाँ, the type of pollination which brings genetically different types of pollen on the stigma is genogamy. Question 93. Feathery stigma and versatile anther are characteristic of. जी हाँ, feathery stigma and versatile anther are characteristic of wind pollinated flowers. Question 93. Hydrophily is limited to 30 genera, which are mostly. जी हाँ, hydrophily is limited to 30 genera, which are mostly monocots. Question 95. Common floral reward provided by plants to pollinator are. जी हाँ, common floral reward provided by plants to pollinator are nectar and pollen. जी हाँ, common floral reward provided by plants to pollinator are nectar and pollen. Question 96. Pollen pistil interaction is. Question 97. Emasculation. जी हाँ, emasculation prevent self-pollination in female parent. Question 90. Mark the incorrect statement. Question 99. Which of the following statement is applicable for all flowering plants? जी हाँ, non-motile and morphologically dissimilar gametes is applicable for all flowering plants. 100, which is incorrect statement. जी हाँ, फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड करेक्ट भी हैं. First, each cell of sporogenous tissue in anther is capable of giving rise to microspore tetrad. Pollen grain represent male gametophyte. Question 101. Which statement is incorrect? Question 102. In papaya, male and female flower are present on different plants. It permits. जी हाँ, in papaya, male and female flowers are present on different plants. It permits genogamy. Question 103. Examine the figure given below and select the right option, giving all the four parts A, B, C, and D correctly identify. बताइए क्या आपको इसमें इंडोथीसियम की लेबलिंग दिख रही है? मिडिल लेयर की, टैपेटम की, माइक्रोस्पोर मदर सेल की. Question 104. Select incorrect statement regarding microsporogenesis in an anther. एक सौ पाँच. In castor, proliferation of the outer integumentary cells at micropylar region. जी हाँ, in castor, proliferation of the outer integumentary cells at micropylar region stores surgery substances. जी हाँ, in castor, proliferation of the outer integumentary cells at micropylar region stores surgery substances. Question 106. An angiospermic plant is having 24 chromosomes in its leaf cells. The number of chromosomes present in synergid pollen grain, nucellus, and endosperm will be respectively. Question 107. Examine the figure given below and select the right option, giving all four parts A, B, C, and D correctly identify. Question 108. The devices to discourage self-pollination are. जी हाँ, the devices to discourage self-pollination are pollen release and stigma. Receptivity is not synchronized. Anther and stigma are placed at different positions. A rejection of a pollen by stigma of the same flower. Question 109. In monoecious plant like castor and maize, जी हाँ, in monoecious plant like castor and maize, chitinogamy is not prevented. Question 110. Select the incorrect statement with respect to artificial hybridization. 111 the cylindrical portion below the level of cotyledons on embryonal axis is। जी हाँ, the embryonal portion below the level of cotyledons on embryonal axis is hypocotyle। जी हाँ, the embryonal portion below the level of cotyledons on embryonal axis is hypocotyle। Question 112 suitable environmental condition for seed germination are। जी हाँ, suitable environmental conditions for seed germination are adequate moisture, suitable temperature and oxygen। 113 pericarp is dry in। जी हाँ, pericarp is dry in groundnut mustard। 114 pick out wrong statement। Options are first, double fertilization is unique to angiosperm। Sequoia, a gymnosperm is one of the tallest tree. Exine of pollen grains is made up of sporopollenin. Exine has apertures where sporopollenin is present। जी हाँ, wrong statement, exine has apertures where sporopollenin is present। 115 examine the figure given below and select the right option giving all the four parts A, B, C and D correctly identify। बताइए ए किसको शो कर रहा है? बी, सी और डी? क्वेश्चन 116 examine the figure given below and select the right option giving all the four parts A, B, C and D correctly identify। बताइए ए किसको शो कर रहा है? बी, सी और डी? 117 चूज करेक्ट ऑप्शन फ्रॉम द फॉलोइंग। जी हाँ, डिहाइड्रेशन एंड डोरमेंसी ऑफ मैच्योर सीड आर क्रूशियल फॉर सीड स्टोरेज करेक्ट है। और सीड ऑफ पैरासिटिक प्लांट्स ओरोबांकी एंड एस्ट्रीगा आर टीनी सीड्स, यह भी करेक्ट है, बाकी इनकरेक्ट है। 118 एग्जामिन द फिगर गिवन बिलो एंड सेलेक्ट द राइट ऑप्शन गिविंग ऑल द फोर पार्ट्स ए, बी, सी एंड डी करेक्टली आइडेंटिफाई। बताइए ये किसको शो कर रहा है? बी, सी और डी? 119 सेलेक्ट द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट फ्रॉम द फॉलोइंग। There are many embryos of different size and shapes in the sheets of organ, यह करेक्ट है। 120 choose the correct option from the following statement। जी हाँ, एक और दो करेक्ट है। एपोमिक्सिस is a form of asexual reproduction which mimics sexual reproduction, and in apomixis, seeds develop either from diploid egg cell or from cells of new cells.